Hey there, Jean.
How you doing, Cliff?
I'm doing fine. How are you?
Good, I'm fine.
We hope you all are fine also.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood.
It is gorgeous. It really warmed up nicely. I had to turn the heat on last night. This isn't right.
That's weird.
It's
That's
just
weird.
not right. This is Pittsburgh weather. I moved south to get away from that.
And hopefully when you're seeing this on Monday, we have normal spring weather. That would
Yes,
be nice.
that would be very nice.
So we have Pentecost hymns because by the time you see this on Monday, we're looking at the lectionary for Pentecost, which was May the 23rd.
How about that?
So 4 good old Pentecost hymns.
Good old hymns. The first one is everybody's favorite Hail Thee Festival Day.
Love that hymn.
It is. It's actually a very good hymn. I can't remember which one has the 9 million verses, but
I think that's the Easter.
Is that Easter? Yeah. That goes on forever. Anyway, the Pentecost version is number 225 in your hymnal 82. The text was written by Venantius Honorius Fortunatus, who lived from 540 to 600. And this great gentleman was educated in rhetoric, grammar, and law at Ravenna under the Byzantine rule. He went to Tours to give thanks to St. Martin for his intercession in the cure of an eye disease. Who knows what that was? He settled in Poitiers and befriended Radegund, who was widow of Clothar, king of the Franks. He became bishop of Poitiers, poet and author of several hymns. Originally, he wrote 55 stanzas.
Yeah, and people complain on Easter when we sing 8, and he wrote 55.
It's called a cento, or a patchwork poem, in honor of the baptism of the newly converted Saxons by Felix, Bishop of Nantes, and it was first done at an Easter vigil sometime between 567 and 576. So this poem became very popular and was adapted for singing. Centos started with the Salve Festa Dies, which is Hail Thee Festival Day. Became processionals for Easter, Ascension, Pentecost, and Corpus Christi. It was never a part of the Roman breviary or the Missal. So, originally used during the Middle Ages to accompany extra liturgical processions. And somehow it found its way into the hymn books in the 19th century when Anglican translators made English versions.
Isn't that nice?
Yes.
That's our history.
That's our history. We discovered this wonderful stuff
And we put
said,
it in.
hey, we need to have this. So the hymn that we're doing today, of course, is the Pentecost section of the larger text, which includes both Easter and Ascension. So we have those two, all three of them in our hymn.
All three.
And they're all three set to the same tune, which, surprisingly enough, is called Salve Festa Dies, Hail Thee Festival Day, by none other than our favorite Ralph Vaughan Williams, Rafe, and there's a wonderful picture of him conducting.
Yeah, and pardon the colloquial, in my notes, my main man. I like Vaughan Williams so much.
Oh, I do too. He wrote some pretty stuff.
And this is a great tune. This is a really great tune.
Very good tune.
Sort of in the style of Sine Nomine.
Yeah, and I like the way that he's got two tunes going on with it.
Yep.
So it's nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Let's do the whole thing.
Okay.
Should we do the whole thing?
That's easy enough.
Hail thee, festival day, last day that art hallowed forever, day when the Holy Ghost shone in the world with God's grace. Oh, in the likeness Praise to the Spirit of life. Oh, praise to the fount of our being. Light that doth lighten and all, life that in all dost abide. Hail the festival day, blessed day that art hallowed forever. Day when the Holy Ghost shone in the world with God's grace.
What's next? This is Come Holy Ghost, Our Souls Inspire, hymnal 1982, number 503. And it's a Latin text from the 9th century, and it's been used in English coronation rites since Edward II in 1307.
Wow,
How's that for some history?
that is cool.
And it's typically used at ordinations, and that's been happening since 1550.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
I've been to a number of ordinations, and this is what they do.
And this text is it's set to 2 in our book. 504 is the plain song, Bene Creator Spiritus.
Oh, yes, yes.
This one is a little different. This is Come
Yeah.
Holy Ghost, John Henry Hopkins. And Hopkins was an American clergyman, musician, stained glass designer,
Oh, nice.
and author. This is meant to be sung in alternation, the bishop and the choir, or the congregation. So the bishop sings a phrase, the choir repeats, and the bishop sings another phrase. How many bishops do you think would want to do that?
I'll tell you what, as many ordinations as I've been in, all the bishops
All
have
the
done
bishops
it.
do it?
Some do it better than others, but they've all done it.
That must not be one of the job requirements.
I don't know.
Sing this very well.
Yep.
So this was first sung by Hopkins' father, who was the second Episcopal Bishop of Vermont and the presiding bishop
How about
in
that?
1865 at the consecration of a missionary bishop of Nebraska and Dakota.
Very good.
How's that?
That is really cool.
Yeah.
So we'll do the whole thing.
We'll do the whole thing.
Come, Holy Ghost, our souls inspire, and lighten with celestial fire. Thou the anointing Spirit art, who dost thyself all gifts impart. Thy blessed unction from above Okay, our next one is 507.
I love this one.
Yeah, it's a good one. Praise the Spirit in Creation. Text written by Michael Hewlett, who is basically 20th century. Born in 1916, died in 2000. He was born in London, ordained in 1949, served various parishes. He wrote 70 hymns, so he's fairly prolific, and contributed to many hymn books. I like this, his philosophy of hymn writing. I regard hymn writing as a branch of religious journalism, requiring some of the same gifts, and would recommend others not to aspire to be poets, but to take their inspiration from technicians like W.S. Gilbert of Gilbert and Sullivan, Irving Berlin, many musicals, and Oscar Hammerstein, of course, many musicals. I thought that was interesting.
How interesting is that?
Yeah.
I think what he's trying to say there is let's keep it in the vernacular, keep it something that people can grasp and understand.
Right.
Yeah, interesting.
So anyway, this was written to fill a need. The spirit and hymnody had been devoid of the dynamic images as described in Acts 2, verse 1 through 11. So, the first three stanzas describe the Spirit's work in creation, in our lives, and in history. And the power of the Spirit appears in stanzas 4 and 5. It's a prayer that the Spirit will get us moving to do God's will, and the last verse, of course, is the doxology.
Yeah, beautiful.
So, what shall we do? What verses?
You want to talk about Mr. Hurd?
Oh, that's right, I have to talk about him.
The tune.
Sorry. I was getting ahead of myself there. Good old David Hurd wrote the tune, named it Julian. And we've talked about Mr. David Hurd quite a lot. He's American, born 1950 in Brooklyn. He studied at these lesser well-known schools such as Juilliard, Oberlin, University of North Carolina, Chapel Hill, several honorary doctorates. He's a composer, organist, choral director, educator, served at All Saints Church in New York, visiting lecturer at the Institute of Sacred Music, Yale. Yeah, I know that place. He's on the organ faculty of the Manhattan School of Music, and he's currently director of music and organist at the Church of St. Mary, the Virgin in New York City. So, this tune was written in 1974 as what he describes a generic tune. It first appeared with the hymn, Ye Who Own the Faith of Jesus, in the David Hurd Hymnary, published Chicago, 1983. I was unaware of that work.
Yeah. I've never seen that.
No. Well, I suppose he's written so many tunes that he can have his own collection.
He can have his own. And apparently he's got extra doctorates.
Yes, probably.
Think he'd share one?
I don't know if he's got an honorary one from Yale or not. I'd have to look
That'd be
that up.
interesting to see.
Yeah, since he was a lecturer there,
Yeah.
guest lecturer.
Yeah.
All right, so now,
Now,
what shall we do?
how many would you like to do?
There's 6 verses. Shall we do 3 or?
Let's do 3.
Okay. So how about 1, 2, and 6?
That's perfect.
Okay. Praise the Spirit in creation, breath of God, life's origin, Spirit moving on the waters, and God's will to those who listen by a still small voice conveys. Praise, oh, praise the Holy Spirit. Praise the Father, praise the Word, source and truth and inspiration, Trinity in deep accord. Through your voice which speaks within us, through your creatures call you Lord.
And our last for today is Come Down, O Love Divine. This is hymnal 1982, number 516. This is by a guy named Bianco da Siena, who was born somewhere around 1350, and he died either in 1434 or 1442. Those are dates to us, but I imagine they were pretty important to him.
A little bit of a difference there.
It's like history. We don't really know some of these things.
Yeah.
So he was trained as a wool worker,
How about that?
like cheap. He joined the group known first as Poverelli di Cristo and later as the Campagna dei Gesuati. They were laymen who followed the Augustinian rule, and they maintained a few monasteries. The Vatican distrusted their interests in mysticism.
How can you imagine that?
I know, the Vatican distrusting
Yeah,
somebody,
distrusting.
wanting to rule somebody. I don't know.
Oh, dear.
Bianco's Laudi remained in manuscript in the Vatican Library until 1851, when 92 of them were published at Lucca.
But yet they kept his manuscript, so
Yeah, they did.
they must not have distrusted him a whole lot.
Shit.
Who knows?
Who knows? This comes from the Laudi Spirituali from 1367, which is really interesting because if that's 1367, we think he was born in 1350.
He was only 17.
17. Well, I guess
He could have been. Yeah, yeah.
4 stanzas of this were included in the People's Hymnal in London in 1867 for Anglicans who felt that they might benefit from many Roman Catholic teachings and practices without quitting their own church. And if we know anything about the Anglican history in England, oh my gosh.
It went back and forth.
Catholic,
Catholic, yeah.
Anglican. Oh, somebody's going to lose their heads.
Yeah.
Not Anglican, Catholic.
Now we're Catholic. Now we're Anglican.
It's a beautiful text. It's a really beautiful text.
Yes, it is.
And it is set to our good friend Rafe Vaughan Williams, whom we've studied many, many times. This tune was composed for these words for the English hymnal of 1907? I think it was 1907.
Something like that, yeah.
And it was named after Vaughan Williams' birthplace. The English hymnal claimed it was an anonymous tune, but Vaughan Williams was the music editor for the English hymnal, and it fits it very well. So.
So it probably is his.
Yeah. How many verses? There are 3.
We can do all of them if you want.
Let's do all 3.
Let's do all. Come down, O Lord divine, seek thou this soul of mine, and visit it with thy Lord. which the soul will long, shall far outpass the power of human telling. For none can guess His grace till the create a place wherein the Holy Spirit makes a dwelling.
So it's been another session. This is the Pentecost version, and
Yes?
we'll
Yeah?
have another one next week, which will be the Memorial Day version.
Yes.
Yeah, so
We
we'll
can do some
choose
good things.
4 patriotic things. Yeah.
Yep. And that will probably be our last one for a while.
That will be our last one until we can all meet together here, probably,
Yes, this
and
fall.
sing through more of the Levis.
Finish it up.
Finish up Levis, yeah. Yeah, but not until after we've had a big old hymn festival. That's the first thing I want to do when we're allowed to sing. I want us to fill up this place to whatever maximum we can have. I want to sit at Bessie and we're just going to do some hymns.
That'll be glorious.
It will
Just
be
glorious.
a reunion.
Yes.
So I hope that you're doing well. If you've not gotten that vaccination, go get it.
Yes, please, please,
Yeah.
please, please, because the more people that get it, the sooner we can get back to what we would call our normal routines.
Right. So we hope that you're happy and healthy and well.
Yes.
And see you next time.
God be with you. God be with you. God be with you till we meet again. By His counsels guide uphold you, with His sheep securely fold you. God be with you. God be with you. God be with you till we meet again.
Peace.
God's peace, everyone.